Hey guys, it's Hunter. Welcome back to another video, and yes, I'm a little late to this one, but every year Ibanez fans try to convert me, and I've been getting a lot of questions about Ibanez's new lineup. It's not happening, by the way. I can't stand flat fingerboards, and Ibanez's single cut situation, or lack thereof, is a very sad state of affairs, but I like staying up to date with new guitars, so I figured I'd turn on the camera. That way we can run through, get first impressions of these fresh Ibanez together. So smack a like on the video if you're going to enjoy it. That massively helps please the algorithm in all the right places. And let's take a closer look at what is going on in the world of Ibanez. Last year's NAMM was a bit of a light one for Ibanez. The main highlights were updates to existing models, albeit very eye-catching ones. Not so many new guitars, but that's kind of the direction most brands are going in. Instead of these giant NAMM reveals, they're drip-feeding new releases as they become available. To be honest, I like it. It keeps things fresh. All right, here we go. Ibanez new gear for 2025. Interesting, the promo image has no RG representation. Foreshadowing. Or not really sure. Let's get into it. And let's see how many Wi-Fi codes we need to learn this time. Okay. Still going. Still going. Still going. Still going. Oh, good God, we've just gotten to bases. Well then. Alright, this is gonna be a long video. Holy shit, this is like a NAMM drop from the pre-COVID days. Good Lord. Okay, let's start from the top with the new signatures. Also, generally the ones with the easiest names to remember. Okay, Larry Basilio has a new LB1 in black. Makes sense. Personally, I'm still a huge fan of this violet color. HSS on a, forgot what Ibanez calls their T-body. That one. Got her signature Seymour Duncans, go to hardware, stainless steel frets. I mean, to me, every time I hear or see your name, I always picture that violet guitar. That's kind of her signature thing, but not everyone's gonna be into how eye-catching this is though. Cool spec combo, makes sense to have these classic finishes as well. Then the flat V2 in mint sand for Josh Smith. Definitely not the Josh Smith that I was thinking of. It's an Ibanez signature for this Josh Smith. Blues rock guitar virtuoso, singer-songwriter and producer, known for his incendiary live performances, the Grammys, or at the Kennedy Center Honors with Mick Jagger. Okay, all right. Outside of the metal world, my knowledge might be a bit limited. We move. So you get the flat V1 AZs with very classic telly vibes, and then his flat V2, again, very classic telly vibes, but you have to love a telly with a neck humbucker. What else is going on here? We got Godo, we got Seymour Duncan, rosewood fingerboard, no stainless steel frets, and a bone nut. A lot of people write the AZ and AZS series off as being too modern. So rosewood fingerboard, no stainless steel frets, but you still have that roasted maple neck for the stability. That's cool. Have to love a matching headstock too. And not everyone loves the AZS control scheme. It's like a telly control scheme that's been warped, like an Alice in Wonderland version. I think it's cool. It's reminiscent of the vintage vibe, but the switch is at a more natural angle. Although now that I'm looking at it, the control plate is kind of hot dog shaped. Oh man, once seen, can't unseen. All right, that'll do it for the AZ signatures. Moving on to the obligatory Joe Satriani model. Every Ibanez lineup gotta have one. Joe Satriani JS1GD. Didn't we get this last year? The gold boy? Oh, just kidding. It wasn't the JS1GD. It was the JS2 GD. And not last year, but 2022. Listen, after COVID, there is no sense of time. It was the first production Satriani model with HSS, and the first with a middle pickup since 1993. And they're gone. So this one has the same gold boy vibe, just in his more preferred humbucker single configuration. Oh, this thing is ridiculous. Love the matching gold headstock too. Okay, so we got a Sustainiac and probably a signature DiMarzio, right? Yep. All right, how much are these? Jesus Christ. This is obviously, well, at least I hope, one of the more expensive ones in the new lineup. Let me find a picture of the other one just to see. I mean, I'm not like a huge fan of the shape or anything, but if I had fuck you money, I absolutely would. Let's be honest, who amongst us wouldn't? Oh, you know who would have good footage of the new one though? My friend Dr. Dan from Ibanez, Germany. Whoa. Yes, sir. That is a gold guitar. Oh my God, I didn't realize how long of a video this is gonna turn into. I'm gonna need a drink after this, which just so happens to be a great segue. Let's take a quick second to thank today's sponsor, ZBiotics. And this is one of my favorite sponsors, because listen, maybe you're someone that enjoys a few drinks sometimes. I won't lie to you, I do. But maybe you don't always enjoy the next morning. ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic designed by PhD scientists to combat those rough mornings after drinking. See, when your body processes alcohol, alcohol, it creates a highly toxic byproduct in your gut, and it's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's greatly responsible for why you might not feel 100% the next day. And so Z-Biotics pre-alcohol produces an enzyme that specifically targets and breaks this toxic byproduct down, essentially turning your gut into an extra liver. Shiv and I have done a fair amount of responsible product testing with Z-Biotics. Weddings, birthdays, concerts, Atlanta United matches, any event where drinks might be involved. Just one of these little bottles at the beginning of your night, or whenever. Listen, it's no one's fault Premier League matches are in England and time differences are a thing. Anyway, speaking from experience, make pre-alcohol your first drink, stay hydrated, pace yourself, and wake up good to go, like yourself, instead of wasting the day in recovery. So if you want to see why so many people trust Z-Biotics for fun nights without giving up the next day, Z-Biotics are giving you guys 15% off your first order and free shipping. Just click my special link in the description. Also have it in the pinned comment. Just don't forget to use that exclusive link to snag the discount. They have a 100% money back guarantee, so trying it out is kind of a no-brainer, which is a good description of how you might be feeling the morning after without Z-Biotics. And of course, clicking it helps support the channel by letting them know that I sent you. And while you're checking out the power of science, let's get back into guitars. And now these are the ones I've been really wanting to look at. K-7 Yin and Yang for Munky and Head of Korn. Korn is back with Ibanez just like they were in the glory days. And don't get it twisted, Head's LTD signature was sick, but Ibanez and Korn, it's like buffalo wings and ranch. It just feels right. It was meant to be. They've got matching complementary SIGs, yin and yang. It's very cute. Okay, quick history lesson for those of you who were just as clueless as I was as to why your Ibanez obsessed friends are freaking out about these. The original K-7s launched in 2001, their first signatures for Head and Munky. And you have to remember, right, back in 2001, 7-string production models weren't nearly as prevalent as they are today. The specs for both guitars were identical, both were loaded with DiMarzio PAFs, and the immediately recognizable bridge with the U-bar. The only difference between the two was the color. Gray for Head's model and blue for Munky's. Okay, so that was the K-7, and then when Head left Korn, he also left Ibanez, so the K-series morphed into the Apex series just for Munky. Now when Head rejoined Korn, he also came back to Ibanez, but they didn't revive the K-series. His then new signature in 2015 kept a lot of the same specs, but was based on the RGD shape, and the Apex series continued to evolve with Munky. Then Head discovered Evertune. Ibanez wasn't putting Evertune in production guitars at the time, so in 2016, Head left Ibanez again and joined ESP. But now that Ibanez has started to fully embrace the glory of the Evertune bridge, Head is back with Ibanez, and not only that, but it looks like the full Korn reboot. The Apex series has been discontinued. They've revived the K series, logo and everything, although from a glance, it looks like there's been some modern tweaks to the original version. So yeah, that's the history. Literally, people have been waiting 20 years for this, and in fact, there was a 20th anniversary K-7, pretty much a faithful tribute to the original release, just in a classy black and gold theme, not a new generation of K-7 that reflect Head and Munky's current preferences as these appear to be. So let's see what's going on with these new K-series guitars. Let's take a look. First at Yin. This is a very metal-ass looking metal guitar, kind of that Iron Label vibe. I don't know how they keep sneaking these blacked out logos past the marketing department. Interesting. The background text says Apex/K7. And yeah, this is very similar to his last signature, the Apex 30. Pretty sure this was the first one that he switched the RGA archtop body instead of the RG from the original K7s. And the RGA is probably my favorite Ibanez Superstrap body, especially with those sculpted cutaways. I think it looks really cool, really refined. DiMarzio Blaze pickups. Not too familiar, but good God, look at the tone guide. Scooped mids and a shitload of bass. Nice. Oh, it's a Steve Vai signature model. I was about to say, like, the description and tone guide, it sounds very counterintuitive, but Steve Vai knows what the hell he's doing when it comes to guitar, so I'm just gonna shut up about that. In the original K7s, they had the PAF 7, and wow, that is a very different tone guide. And I know this bridge is like a signature thing on Munky's models, but I've never actually understood what it is. Like, is it a working tremolo? Is it a fake Floyd, like on Mick Thompson's Jacksons? It's a Low Pro Edge 7 bridge with a U-bar. Okay, so it's a working tremolo, but instead of a bar, you just have this, like, fucking handle thing. Pull if there's a dive bomb emergency. That actually sounds fun as hell. All right, so what do we have? 5-piece maple walnut neck, Niato body, ebony fingerboard, jumbo frets. Does Dan have a good shot of this one? Of course he does. I mean, that bridge is so metal. It's so intimidating. And then here's Yang. Instead of going full metal, it's more on the classier, traditional side of things. No more Fishmans. It looks like he's also going with DiMarzio. Also the Blaze? Oh my God, he has. Between the two, no mids, all the bass. That's absurd. Okay, mostly the same specs, but with a rosewood fingerboard. Oh, the white top, the gold hardware, the natural back. You can actually see the 5-piece maple walnut neck on this one. I'm an Evertune fanboy, especially in extended range guitars, so I think Yang takes it for me. But fuck, that U-bar trem is so metal. And as I said before, Ibanez and Korn, it just feels right. Love to see it. And by the way, I'll drop links to all the gear we're talking about in the description for you. If you're planning to grab something later, feel free to bookmark them as well. It's a simple way to support the channel, helps me cover costs like editing, and lets me keep leveling up the content for you guys. Massive thanks for being awesome if you decide to do that. Then the next signature, massive vibe shift from the last guitars. There's a new color for Mr. George Benson's GB10, now also in classic black. Now personally, semi-hollows, hollow bodies, not really my world, but I do think it's funny. This stands out as a contrast to the shreddy metal guitars we normally associate Ibanez with. But like if you go back and look at the early Ibanez catalogs, like this one's from 1976, this is the kind of stuff they were doing. Affordable copies of very classic traditional designs. So you can see why Gibson and Fender lawyers were not too thrilled about these. So anyways, not my thing, but it's a cool throwback to old school Ibanez. Shifting gears entirely again. God damn, I can't tell whether I love it or I hate it. Oh, the one in this video looks even better. That fingerboard, that top paired with the red back is really cool. The gold hardware, the gold pick guard. It's also got that interesting fret slant that Ibanez does with their headless models, and that's supposed to match better the natural slant your fingers have when you're playing the guitar. But like, no matter how ergonomic a guitar is, I can't get over no headstock, man. Let's put this in context though. I like 70s Les Paul Customs, which are basically boat anchors. They look cool as shit, but what the fuck are ergonomics? I also feel like when you pick up something like this, people expect you to be technically good. You know what I mean? Like dumb caveman chugs on something like this is almost bad etiquette. Either way, well played to Manuel Gardner Fernandez. Absolute beast of a player. Very classy headless guitar. Well deserved. Then Andy Timmons with an interesting take on the AZ. From a distance, the fingerboard inlays almost look PRS-esque, but like instead of birds, Rorschach tests? Maybe it's just me, but I'm seeing Pokemon Go team logos. Let me know if you see it too, or if I'm just going insane. Anyways, for specs, what do we have here? African mahogany body, rosewood fingerboard, jumbo frets. Dang, they're going hard with these classic styled AZs. And with DiMarzios. So we got the Cruiser. Oh, Jesus. These are like the opposite of the Blazes. Hotter than traditional single coil, and bass strings have a bit more chunk. So what does the tone guide say for bass on normal single coils? Okay, and then the AT1. Oh, it's Andy Timmons' signature model. That makes sense. Kind of like a PAF 36th anniversary, but the sound is hotter and the focus is rock. Speaking of which, it seems that 78,320% of viewers only focus has been rock, and so have just forgotten to subscribe. That's literally the only explanation. So here's your quick reminder to go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to tick the notification bells. That way you'll be the first to know about any new videos. And then the other signatures... Wait a second, weren't these released last year? Do I have brain damage? Nah, because I listed the Paul Gilbert Fireman and the Tim Henson 7-string as two of the best Ibanez guitars of 2024. Yeah, and I remember seeing this Tim Henson signature in metallic mauve at Last NAMM. What the hell, Ibanez, trying to gaslight me? That is a very nice color, in fairness. But yeah, so anyways, I'm not going to get too into this one because it was literally in stock last year, but the specs are pretty much identical to his 6-string. It's got his Fishman signatures with the nylon voice surrogate, basswood body, roasted maple neck, Goto trem, jumbo stainless steel frets, ebony fingerboard with the Tree of Death inlay, a wink and a nod to Steve Vai's Tree of Life inlay. I mean, even the 25.5-inch scale length is the same as the 6-string, so it's literally the same guitar, just with the 7-string. And just in general, respect where respect is due, man. Tim Henson's signatures are so clean. I mean, the Tree of Death inlay, especially in the silver color, I feel like you can take this visual theme and paste it onto anything. A Les Paul, a Tele, a PRS, and it would still be instantly recognizable as Tim Henson style. And having an instantly recognizable visual style is not a level that most guitarists get to. He's also been teasing an 8-string, which, same visual theme, but spec-wise looks to be quite different. Different headstock, hip-shot, high-mass, hardtail bridge. No 8-string Tim Henson signature at this year's NAMM, but there's every possibility now that it'll be released at the end of this year and then announced a couple of months later at next year's NAMM. Oh, and I realized something a little while ago when I was watching the Tim Henson Rick Beato interview. This is random as fuck, but I have to share. You know who Tim Henson sounds like? Sam Bankman-Fried.
The SEN was what it was called, wasn't like that. It was like very much like an electric guitar, where there is margin extended where there is burrow lending.
I am so sorry, but I've been living with this uncomfortable truth. Once heard, can't unhear. So for my own sanity, I had to share it. You're welcome. We move.
Why?
Back to guitars. The FRM Fireman 350 for Paul Gilbert is actually really, really cool. Not just because Paul Gilbert invented this reversed Iceman shape by literally flipping the Iceman in Photoshop to make it even wackier, or that it has the best promo photos ever with Paul Gilbert dressed up as a fireman. Look how many of these there are. He had so much fun doing this. Here's another. There are literally just so many of these. But the coolest thing about it is that it's the world's first guitar with a built-in slide magnet. And when I first heard that, I was like, what the hell does that even mean? But it's literally a magnet inside the guitar to put your slide on so you can go seamlessly back and forth between regular playing and slide playing. It's invisible, doesn't change the look of the guitar at all. Genius. And again, Paul Gilbert looks like he's just having an absolute fucking blast. I want this guitar, just because of how much fun he's having. And much like the new LTD MSV1, the FRM 350 is further proof to support my theory that the classic Les Paul custom tuxedo look can make literally any guitar shape classy as fuck. But yeah, look at the date of this Instagram post, July 31st, 2024. I mean, I get it, it probably wasn't in the 2024 catalog. They're probably adding it to the 2025 catalog, but still, new for 2025, might be a bit of a stretch. Okay, finally out of the signature models and into the Axe Design Lab. Okay, first is the RGR52ET. Actually, not a terribly secure Wi-Fi password by Ibanez's standards. Yo, that's actually a sick looking guitar though. Black hardware, the black Evertune Fishman-Fluence Moderns, the current modern metal guitar meta. The gold Fishmans and the gold logo, just those little classy touches. It's just the right amount of contrast. I do find it funny though, blacked out hardware, gold pickups. Visually, this is almost the exact inverse of like the classic EC1000. Black pickups, gold hardware. Let's see what the other specs are. Piano body, maple top, maple neck. Oh, this is Makassar Ebony. I totally thought that was... Actually, I don't know what I thought that was. It's more like the pale moon ebony fingerboard on this electro resin Schecter. So on one hand, like a jet black ebony fingerboard on a jet black guitar would look so satisfyingly clean. On the other hand, what I really like about pale moon in particular, like any piece of wood that has highly defined streaking or grain, is that it makes every single guitar, even within the same production run, distinguishable and truly unique, right? Like your guitar is different to anyone else's. It's truly your guitar. Plus, in making use of Makassar Ebony, Pale Moon Ebony, it's far more environmentally responsible.
Musical instruments, stringed instruments have used ebony for over 100 years, and that ebony was black. At a certain point, 50, 60 years ago, the market moved to Central Africa to source ebony, and it just so happens that a lot of the ebony in the Congo Basin is not black. You cut it open and it's marbled, it's colored, it's stripy. And the people that went out and cut the trees would cut a tree, fell it. If it wasn't black, they just left it to rot. But if you think about that, for 50 years, 60 years, maybe half the ebony trees that were cut down were left abandoned to rot on the forest floor. And all those guys knew was the musical instrument manufacturers in Europe and the US and China, they only wanted the black ones.
Yeah, super clean, Fishman-Fluence, Evertune, stainless steel frets. And these specs remind me that I have the Prestige version that I totally did not forget about. I really hope Ibanez isn't pissed because I'm pretty sure I was supposed to make that video like a year ago. It's in progress, Ibanez, I swear. Fuck, we move. I'm loving this recent trend of like the classic blacked out metal guitar making a comeback, but with subtle, modern, often classy twists. It's just a clean, cool guitar. All right, what's next? The SML 721. This looks like a new color for this model in Midnight Arctic Ocean Matte. Previous version was Rose Gold Chameleon. Oh, I remember this. This is like a flip-flop finish. So because these product photos are absolutely useless, let's see if we can find an actual picture of this guitar. Oh, that actually looks really clean. My immediate thought is it's got those Jake Bowen vibes with like the toenail clipping inlay. And the S body is just funny. From the main photo on the products page, it's like, okay, it's a normal Super Strat. And then you see a side profile of the body and it's like if you only had the carved top part of the body, just like a 2D guitar. 5-piece maple walnut neck, Miata body, rosewood fingerboard, jumbo stainless steel frets. Okay, so what pickups in here? The Q58s. It's got the headless Q series pickups. Okay, I guess that makes sense because the Q series is also missing a lot of the guitar. But in this case, you've still got the headstock, just no depth to the body. Yeah, that's definitely it. Probably has nothing to do with the fact that they both have that slanted monorail bridge. I don't know how I feel about that actually. Like the bass string saddles are getting progressively further away from the bridge pickup. But yeah, again, not very flashy, just another very clean Ibanez guitar. Speaking of the Q series, here are the new ones. Pretty sure all of these are just new colors for existing models. This is from the 2024 catalog. Okay, so there's copper metallic matte for the HSS normal fret 6-string, a new metallic gray matte, almost got Tim Henson vibes for the weird fret 6-string. Apparently that's how I'm dividing up this series. There's the regular fret ones and the weird fret ones. And Ibanez is kind of moving away from these flashy Poplar Burl tops on their headed guitars. But for headless, they're still very much alive. Cosmic blue, low gloss for the regular fret 6-string and for the regular fret HSS 7-string. And I'm kind of speed running through these ones because it's just new colors and the specs are pretty much the same between them. Niato bodies, 3-piece roasted maple Bubinga necks, except for the 7-string that's actually got a 5-piece roasted maple Bubinga neck, roasted bird's eye maple fingerboards with mother of pearl inlays, which I'm glad to see is still a signature feature across the Q series, even though, like, for ergonomics, it's completely unnecessary, but it just adds a little bit of extra flashiness. You know, you have to give credit to Ibanez because when they announced the Q series, there was a lot of skepticism because headless guitars is such a niche market within an already niche market, and there were already pre-established players. Pretty much all the other major modern guitar brands like LTD, like Schecter, who had also gone into 7-string, 8-string, fanfret stuff when Ibanez did, they were all skipping out on headless. But I mean, from how many new SKUs they're launching, the line seems to be going pretty strong. And maybe it's because they've got artists like Manuel Gardner Fernandez or Ichika Nito, super creative players who have massive audiences for new colors, including these very, very cool Poplar Burst top ones. I don't care whether it triggers your trypophobia or not, those tops are sick. Okay, now on to the plentiful new AZs. As timeless as the RG is, it almost feels like these have become the main star of the show. These are front and center on the new promo banner. That's Ibanez telling us there's something cool going on here. So let's take a look. Okay, so for the Made in Japan dual humbucker prestige version, there's a new apple green metallic color. I'm sure it looks even better in person, but even from Ibanez's weirdly artificial looking stock photos, big Charvel vibes. Love a metallic sparkle with a roasted maple neck. It's just fun. It's like modernized 80s shredder vibes. Specs, alder body, roasted maple neck, jumbo stainless steel frets, the exclusive Seymour Duncan Hyperion set with just a shitload of tone shaping options. The alter switch is just ridiculous. Look at that. It's got 10 different pickup configurations. You got LTD going hard with the single pickup guitars this year. Meanwhile, over at Ibanez, anyways, yeah, sick color. Another Prestige HSS in white with a Perloid pickguard. Classic. Nice. I like it. I like it. Then, ooh. Okay, I'm not a fan of the Fiesta red. Pardon me, I mean Vermilion red. Not really feeling the color, but I love the hot rodded look of an HSS guitar with a covered humbucker. Then another one of the classic styled ones with the rosewood fingerboard in a new Prussian blue metallic color. I'm not even gonna lie, that is a great shade of blue. And with that tortoiseshell pickguard, Hunter in editing here, just realized that my dumbass was looking at the wrong color. It's actually this one, ivy green metallic flat that's new. But again, dark metallic with the tortoiseshell pickguard. Awesome. And then finally on the Prestige front, same vibe as the previous one, except triple single in a new dark tide blue flats. Who knew tortoiseshell pickguards could be such a cheat code? That looks way more sick, way better, way more like its own thing, instead of just like an AZ Silver Sky. Actually, how much do the Prestiges go for these days? Okay, so like 1,800, 2,000. Ooh, what is this? Fucking excuse me? Oh my god, forget all the new models. This is the coolest AZ ever. Dude, hot rodded shell pink, are you kidding me? But yeah, I guess the other new Prestiges, they're cool too. Anyways, man, these Wi-Fi codes are so stupid. Like, if you don't have an Enigma machine to crack the Ibanez code, how is this helpful? But from looking at numerous new Ibanez lineups from over the years, I figured out that the higher tier guitars have more numbers in the name, and vice versa. So those are all the 4-number ones, all the Prestiges. Let's move to the Indonesian-made premiums. Now, last year's premiums, they moved to more of an Ibanez-y RG type vibe. You know, moving away from the more traditional style the AZs launched with. Wasn't a big fan of that move, to be honest. One of the reasons I like the AZ series is because they've still got Ibanez's quality, but they're not like your typical Ibanez. And this is just straight up an RG finish. I mean, they literally dropped all of the traditional styled AZs that the premium line launched with. So this year, it looks like they're reviving the traditional style for the premiums. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so we've got transparent black sunburst. We've got, wow, violin sunburst. And we've got transparent turquoise burst. Okay, pretty safe colors. I'd say this is probably my favorite. 6-spring tremolo though? Interesting. The AZs are usually 2-point trem, so what's going on with the specs here? Wait a second. What the hell is happening? Okay, so we've got a roasted maple neck, flame maple top, alder body, Jatoba fretboard, and with jumbo stainless steel frets, Ibanez modern custom pickups with Alnica 5 magnets. The jumbo stainless steel frets are throwing me, but the rest, this has to be a more affordable tier, right? Is this like a budget AZ that they've somehow managed to slap stainless steel frets and a roasted maple neck on? All right, let's check the back of the headstock, see where these are made. God damn it, I swear, it's 2025. What is this potato quality? Oh shit, so this is a new tier. 550 with a roasted maple neck and stainless steel frets. And the top on this one is not bad either. So what's the deal? Are these made in Indonesia? Or, 我操, 怎么可能? No, but actually there are a couple of factories in China that do roasted maple and stainless steel frets quite well. You know, I'm talking about very specific, reputable factories, not your average wish.com Temu bullshit. But like the level of improvement in just like 3 or 4 years is crazy. Roasted maple, stainless steel frets at an affordable price point out of China, just not possible with anything even remotely resembling consistent quality. And I mean, let's put this into context. This is Ibanez's second lowest tier AZ after the Ibanez Essentials, right? And it's got stainless steel frets, roasted maple necks. That figure top is also very nice. 2 specs that a decade ago were high-end custom shop only features. And I keep saying it, but it is awesome that so many of these like formerly exclusive features are becoming more and more accessible, especially with these kinds of specs, you know, like better neck stability, smoother bends. Love seeing specs like those become more and more accessible earlier and earlier in guitar playing journeys. I mean, these look like awesome mod project platforms too.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
All right, so my daughter broke her foot on a bouncy castle and Shiv's ankle is the size of a baseball because she sprained it and still thought that she could run 5 miles on it. So neither of them can walk. I had to go and do dad shit. TLDR, it's a new day. We're back and we're looking at the second half of the new AZ standard tier, which is this AZZ22S1F. Rolls off the tongue just like all the other ones. You know what? The 2s kind of look like Zs though, so I'm just gonna call this the AS1F, which essentially has the same specs as the AS for AS1F, just in a more traditional style HSS configuration. But I like how they've done little things to make it kind of fancier and more modern to reflect the specs, right? Like it's got a pearloid pickguard, the covered humbucker. So the 2 colors are transparent black sunburst and transparent turquoise burst. And it's very nice these have the same AZ neck cutaways as the Prestiges and Premiums do, instead of the more basic version on the entry-level AZ Essentials. So no wonder these are listed on the AZ page along with the Premium and the Prestige, whereas the AZ Essentials has been relegated to its own page. But yeah, this is actually quite impressive. The AZ Essentials is $330 now, and for roughly $200 more, you've got a roasted maple neck, stainless steel frets, a proper alder body, not poplar. We'll have to see what the hardware is like, and whether in the real world the thing can actually hold tuning stability. And Jatoba is kind of, the color, the feel, very mediocre. Like if you're gonna have a roasted maple neck, why not just also have a roasted maple fingerboard too? But overall, impressive stuff. To my knowledge, this is the most wallet-friendly guitar from one of the major brands with worldwide distribution that has a roasted maple neck and stainless steel frets. And then with that dynamic switch for a billion pickup combinations, dude, at the very least, these are looking like very fun mod platforms. You know, the same thing kind of happened when Squier started putting roasted maple on their contemporary series a couple years back. That really pushed other brands to do the same. So I bet major brands are looking at this now and are like, shit, now we have to put stainless steel on our affordable guitars too. So whether you're into these particular guitars or not, this is a big W for the players. All right, moving on to RGs. Black and blue seems to be the theme, and good God, there's a lot of them. Well, black and blue mostly. So this is the RG565R in Chiquita, I mean Desert Sun Yellow. What was the Genesis collection again? Let me cheat real quick. The series meant to be a more affordable access point to the Japanese-made instrument than the existing Prestige range, made by Fujigen to specs that are similar to the original RG550 and its kin, which led to Ibanez's emergence in the late 1980s. So when they launched in 2018, we had reissues of the 550, the 521, and the 570, and now a reissue of the 565, which is one of the most 80s looking things I've ever seen in my life. So for example, the Genesis series series has Ibanez's old school neck joint. It's got the tilt joint and cutaway, which Ibanez used until the early 90s, versus Ibanez's sculpted all-axis joint, which they've pretty much used on every RG since. Also, while I'm looking at these on Sweetwater, like, damn. I mean, the specs on this thing are pretty crazy, and the metallic ash top is insane, but the Genesis made in Japan at Fujigen is literally half the price. What? That's less than most of their high-spec Indonesian models, too. Oh yeah, that's the other color, electric blue. Oh, those jagged shark tooth inlays. That is unapologetically late 80s, early 90s vintage Ibanez. Oh, and the matching metallic headstock. Nice. And Ibanez did reissue the RG, what was this again? The 565? Yeah, they reissued the 565 around 2021, but it was the one with the maple fingerboard, not rosewood, although it did have the color matching dots, which is super fun. My Squire Hello Kitty has the same. You have to wonder why they didn't bring back the red too, though. That thing is 80s as fuck. Anyways, let's take a look at the specs and see what's going on, because that is a suspiciously good price for a made in Japan Fujigen guitar. Basswood body, bound rosewood fingerboard, 5-piece maple walnut neck, an edge bridge, and for pickups, a V8 and Infinity. Like the same Infinity pickups found in the very wallet-friendly Geo series? Did they put entry-level pickups into a Japanese-made guitar? Is that what they've done? At least for the neck pickup, because the V8 seems to be a reissue of a vintage Ibanez pickup. I mean, to get the price down that low, it does make sense to use import pickups, which doesn't necessarily mean they sound bad, but it's just bizarre they'd use like the same series pickups in what is for many people their dream childhood guitars, and also in their most budget level entry series. And then we've got Goto machine heads, some of the best in the game. So no idea what's going on here. Maybe the original was quite an affordable guitar, and so that's what they're trying to do for the reissue as well. From a quick Google, Reddit seems to hate the Infinity pickups, so maybe the original didn't sound very good, and that's what they're trying to do? I have no idea. The originals were before my time, so this is all guesses and speculation. What I do know is a lot of players are super hyped for these, because a lot of them really wanted one of these as kids, just never managed to snag one, and now that they're making adult money, they can finally get one of the reissues. Love to see it, and of course, electric blue with the matching headstock is fucking sick. Continuing on with new colors for the anchor model in the Genesis collection, the RG550, probably one of the most iconic Ibanez designs of all time. I mean, come on, that is an Ibanez-ass Ibanez. Floating trem, HSS, black pickguard, now comes in electric blue. Again, you gotta love the matching blue metallic headstock, and in black, which, did they really not have this before? It seems like one of those safe colors you just normally have at launch by default, but okay. The original was made from 1987 to 1994. The RG550 was the first RG featuring the new body shape, which was designed based on input from Steve Vai in designing his first signature model, the Gem 777, which came in Loch Ness, Desert Sun Yellow, and shocking pink. The RG550 was introduced as a more affordable alternative for that signature. Huh. Didn't know that shared history. So does Steve Vai get royalties for these reissues? I feel like he should. So for these, basswood body, maple fretboard, edge bridge, V7, S1, and V8 pickups. Also interesting, the Genesis series has a slightly flatter fingerboard than the already very flat Ibanez modern fingerboards, 430 millimeters instead of the contemporary 400, or for my fellow Americans, 17 smaller Freedom length units instead of 16, or 8.5 chicken nuggets instead of just 8 chicken nuggets, if that helps more. As someone who didn't grow up in this country, can someone explain to me why we need to compare lengths and weights to something completely fucking random instead of just using the goddamn metric system? You know, like internationally recognized standard units of measurement? It blows my mind. I don't think I'm ever gonna get over the reverse culture shock of coming back here. But anyways, everything's chill. I'm going back to guitars. Whoa, holy shit. Yo, what is happening here? Nah, how is this not on the front banner? I am not accepting that. This might be the coolest Ibanez I've ever seen. I've literally never seen Fishman-Fluences with blue covers, and those look like metal covers too, not plastic. So it'll kind of look like the Richard Z set, just instead of red, blue. I was checking the Fishman site to see if it was a new color they just launched, but nope, not on here, not something they currently offer, meaning that it's a custom exclusive feature just for this guitar. The blue trem with the black moving parts. What tremolo is in this? Edge 02. Now, I cannot find any other Ibanez guitars with custom colored tremolos. I refuse to believe that this is the first guitar Ibanez have ever done with a custom colored tremolo. All right, I need to know what this actually looks like. Let's try to find an actual picture of this. Damn. Oh, it's almost got that granite sparkle type look. Oh, and then this one, it looks kind of blue. that might be a color balance thing. Either way, that looks sick as fuck here too, especially the matching headstock, the blacked out logo. I'm kind of bummed that they didn't find a way to put blue tuners on there too. But yeah, never seen blue Fishmans before. Didn't even consider them because I didn't think that they would look this good, to be honest. But with that matching trem, metallic sparkle finish, ebony fingerboard with no inlays, that's so sick. Clean, modern, and unique. I've not seen any other guitar from any other major brand like this. Chef's kiss. I really hope this does well for them, because expanding this idea to a whole like custom color hardware series would be really sick. Kind of like what Schecter did with the Banshee GT series when EMG started doing custom colors. Yeah, like subtle metallic colors with the matching headstock and then custom red or purple hardware. Like they could expand on this concept in so many ways. But getting carried away, let's bring it back to this one, which isn't even available until spring. All right, specs on this: 5-piece maple walnut neck, Niato body, ebony fingerboard, jumbo, no stainless steel. How on earth are you going to make a modern metal guitar that looks like this and not put stainless steel frets on it? I'm sorry. All right, it looks like we're entering the super metal iron label territory now with these RGR back off models. Yep, that looks exactly like what you'd expect an iron label RG to look like. Did they seriously not have the RG with the trem in the iron label series before? Guess not. They had this fucking thing with the trem, but surprisingly not the RG. Okay, so what do we have? 5-piece maple walnut neck, Niato body, ebony fingerboard. Seems to be the current Ibanez RG standard. Somehow still no stainless steel frets though, but an Edge Zero tremolo, Goto machine heads, and DiMarzio deactivator pickups. And then this is the 7-string version, also with the trem. Interestingly, it looks like they had a 7-string version with a hardtail, which the trem version is replacing. Good news though, the baritone's still there. Spec-wise, it's exactly the same, even the scale length. Yeah, it's pretty much the same guitar, just 7-string form. Personally, 25.5 inches is a little short for a 7-string. Schecter's 26.5 seems to be a good sweet spot for pitch drift and intonation. And this series is begging, I mean, it's perfect for stainless steel frets, but the series as a whole was begging for RGs with floating trems, which in fairness, they've now rectified. All right, now what is this? The RGRT Earth Day? This looks like a lower tier guitar, except it's neck through. I don't know anything anymore. What are the specs? Niato body wings, 5-piece maple walnut neck through, Jatoba fingerboard. I mean, I love a good open pore satin finish. Neck through construction, and the Edge 02 is supposed to be pretty decent. Seems like a pretty fun mod project. How much is this? Oh, I guess Sweetwater only has the hardtail version. Yeah, I mean, this looks like a basic ass Ibanez. Throw in some nice pickups. Might be a fun time. RG460DX in blue haze and an orange metallic. Roadster orange metallic, begging your pardon. Jesus. This looks like a modern interpretation of the Genesis series that we were looking at earlier. Spec-wise, non-multi-piece neck made of maple, Marantzi body, Jatoba fingerboard with jumbo frets. Oh, and interesting, it's got the mono unit output jack. That's the same 1-piece plastic jack they introduced with the AZ Essentials. Basically, the idea was, you know how common it is for your output jack to get all loose because the washer decides it just doesn't feel like doing its fucking job anymore? So apparently, it's also super common for beginners to just give up when that happens because they don't know what to do. They just think the guitar is falling apart. I mean, this is literally a decades old problem, and Ibanez finally decided to do something about that. And their solution was to make the output jack enclosure out of a single piece of plastic. So there's no washers, it's not gonna get loose and jiggly. I'll fully admit, I didn't touch my guitar for a week when my output jack started to fall out because I thought I'd just broken it. Better not make this worse. Better just not touch it for a bit and hope it sorts itself out. I didn't tell my parents either because I didn't want to get in trouble for breaking this nice new thing that they bought me. But anyways, so we'll never know the actual stats, but potentially this mono unit output jack could save countless players from giving up on the guitar for a stupid reason. But yeah, I'd only seen this on like the $300 Essentials. I didn't even know they were putting it on any other guitars. So how much is this one? Okay, so like 500 bucks-ish? So not just on super entry-level guitars, but also getting into like the mid-level guitars too. And then we've got our single multi-scale of the lineup, the RG MS7PB, the Roadster guitar multi-scale 7-string with a Popular World top. Hey, look at that, I speak Ibanez now. And that's in Cosmic Blue Starburst. Spec-wise, 25.5 to 27-inch scale length, 5-piece maple walnut neck, Niato body, poplar barrel top, monorail bridge, Array 7 pickups. You know, honestly, this looks like something that they might have released in like 2020, back when Evertune wasn't as common in production guitars, multi-scale was near its peak, and Ibanez was really into their bright colored poplar barrel tops. And real quick, if you're not aware, the point of a multi-scale is it's basically a baritone guitar on the lower strings. So you got that longer scale length, less pitch drift, better intonation, chuggier chugs, and then it's got a normal scale length on the treble strings. That way it's easier to shred. Allegedly. As someone who only does dumb chug shit, I wouldn't know, but that's the idea. And Ibanez's multi-scale guitars are the only ones I know of that have the spoke wheel truss rod adjustment, which is pretty cool. And multi-scale has kind of been like the new metal of guitars. It exploded out of nowhere. A lot of people just hated the aesthetic, and then it disappeared just as quickly when people discovered something better, like Evertune. No, but conceptually, the multi-scale thing is pretty cool, and it does work very well. As great as the Evertune is, it doesn't give you the baritone for the low chugs and then the normal scale length for shreddy shreds. You've just got the one scale length, and it is expensive, whereas you can make fairly reasonably priced multi-scale guitars. Then good news, lefties. Ibanez have thrown you a bone with this one and this one. You're welcome. Both of which right-handed players have had for a couple of years, especially this one, which I found all the way back in the 2015 catalog, and I can't be bothered to search any further. So after 10 years, you can finally have one. Dude, straight up, lefties get so shafted. Final stretch for the solid body electrics, bevel top RGDs, 7-string with the monorail bridge for the Iron Label series, so I guess this is the replacement for the hardtail RG. And to be fair, with the RGD body, that does look more evil. Spec-wise, roasted maple neck, Niato body, ebony fingerboard, DiMarzio deactivator 7s. Oh wait, 26.5-inch scale length. Nice. Again, shocking it doesn't have stainless steel frets, but Lumenlays, Godot, DiMarzio for $9.99. As far as decently high-spec metal guitar imports go these days, not bad. And speaking of moving away from multi-scale, the RGD 61, essentially the 6-string monoscale version of this very recognizable Ibanez, which was one of the first multi-scale Fishman-loaded mass production guitars from a major brand. It launched in 2019 as one of the flagship models of the Iron Label series. A few years later, it was one of the most touted models in the Axe Design Lab, and now we've got a normal 6-string RGD version. So Niato body, roasted maple neck, Makassar ebony fingerboard, still no stainless steel, regular ass jumbo frets, Fishman moderns. Oh, 26.5-inch scale length? It's a baritone. Nice, okay, so no multi-scale and no 7th string, but you can still get those stupid low chugs. Baritones are becoming super popular these days, so it's cool. This model's kind of evolving with the times. All right, so I think this video is already long enough. I'm not gonna get into the hollow bodies or the AZ series, which honestly wouldn't look out of place in a Schecter catalog. All right, fair play though. For a bulbous bodied guitar, that's pretty cool. But Ibanez have once again forgotten about the ARZ and ART's existence, so in protest, I'm ending the video right here. Also, that's been more than enough rambling from me, so here's where I'll throw it to you. What do you think of the new Ibanez lineup? Anything that sticks out in a good way, in a bad way? Thinking of picking up any of them? Any and all thoughts, let me know down below. Massive shout out to my amazing patron supporters. You guys make the channel what it is, so thank you so much. If you'd like to see your name up there and get bonus extras, consider directly supporting the channel by becoming a patron as well. Super comfortable merch is available, and don't forget you can grab a free IR from my new company Kick-Ass Audio down below in the description too. Social media, Discord to get your questions answered in a future video, and more details to all the gear are linked in the description. As always, thank you so much for watching. You've been awesome, and I will see you for the next video.